fucking David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So I got a funny review the other day. It was a bad review. I don't generally get a lot of bad reviews because the type of cunt that leaves a bad review doesn't get far enough into my podcast to be emotionally attached enough to leave a bad review. They just stop after the first time they hear me say cunt. So I generally only get good reviews. I think I've had like 3 bad reviews. And thank you to everyone who's given me reviews. I read them all. I appreciate them all. Keep fucking reviewing. It helps. It pretty much only helps in the way that when people look up my podcast, they see there's some reviews there. If they see there's no reviews, they're like, fuck that, I'm not even going to listen to that shit. So the more reviews, the better. Anyway, so this cunt left me a bad review. I'll read it out to you. So it's from Benny Hanna. Benny Hanna's a cool sounding name as well, which is surprising. So Benny Hanna in the US. He gave me 2 stars, and the title of his review is funny and helpful until ... Doom doom doom. So here's his review. After going sober 3 months ago, I discovered this podcast and found it both funny and helpful. Thanks, Benny. No problem, mate. It was my pleasure. It had become part of my daily recovery ... That is, until today. That is, until today. When listening to an episode in which Boyle goes on about his son's friend, a 6-year-old autistic child, going as far as calling him retarded. He put that in fucking quotes. Retarded. Going as far as calling him retarded. Never cool, never funny, never supported. I have unsubscribed. I don't know about never fucking funny, Benny. Retarded was getting laughs for fucking decades. All you needed to do in high school was call your teacher a fucking retard and you'd be getting a standing ovation from the other kids in class. Even the retarded kids would be fucking clapping. Like, they had no idea what the fuck they were clapping about, but they were fucking clapping. So don't say it's never fucking funny, Benny, because that's a fucking bold-faced fucking lie. It might not be fucking cool anymore, and it might not be supported, but it sure as fuck is still funny. You fucking retard. I really don't give a fuck about this review at all. It's more of a promotion. If the people who I want listening to the podcast read this review, they would be fucking 10 times more likely to listen. So it's actually doing the reverse of what you think it is. And plus, the people who I don't want listening to the podcast will read this and go, no way I'm listening to that fucking Neanderthal. Which is good. Both ways it's good. But I have 2 fucking problems with this review. The first one is he fucking wrote retarded in the review. Like, he put it in air quotes. Like, he did put it in air quotes to signify that it wasn't him saying retarded, that it was me saying retarded. But he still fucking wrote retarded. And you know it's not that bad when you can actually say the word or type out the word you're offended by. You know what I mean? People have to say the N-word. Unless you're black or Andrew Roberts, you can't just yell the fucking N-word. You can't just scream it out in public. You definitely wouldn't be able to write it in a review. You have to write, he said the N-word. Or he made a Christmas jingle where the chorus was just the N-word repeated over and over. You would have to write something like that. You know what I mean? That's the worst one. And then I suppose the second worst one is the one that starts with F and rhymes with maggot. Again, he wouldn't be able to write that in the review. He would have to actually say that. He would have to say it starts with F, rhymes with maggot. Or he'd have to put like FA, hashtag, $, question mark, T. You know what I mean? He can't just write that in the review and just leave it out there like brazenly in public. So that sort of gives you an idea of where retarded sits on the scale of offensive words. Like he's offended, but he's not offended enough not to write it, not to have it out there in public. So it's no N-word and it's no F-word that rhymes with maggot. So that's my first problem. And my second problem is he had to get through me actually saying faggot like 48 times before he even reached me saying retarded. So obviously he has no problem with me saying faggot. He just sits there and has a good little chuckle at that. But once he reached retarded, that was it. So he's just fucking cherry picking. And those words aren't even the most horrific shit I've said on this podcast. I've said shit on this podcast that would make people's skin crawl. That didn't even have a swear word or fucking anything in it. Nothing offensive, just disgusting, horrific ideas. But anyway, that was the review from Benny fucking Hanna. Who gives a fuck? It's gonna happen. There's nothing you can do about it. If you live by the sword, you die by the sword. My sword being autistic kids. Anyway, that will do for tonight. If you're enjoying the podcast, how about you leave a good fucking review, huh? Leave a good review or a funny bad one. But if you leave a funny bad one, give it 5 stars. Anyway, that will do for tonight, and I'll see you the fuck later.